striving for the same damn thing. Names in black books, secrets untold. The weight of silence, heavy and cold. Power protects its own dirty crane, feeding lies while we bleed. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game. Epstein's shadow haunting the halls, truth buried deep behind the walls. Who pulls the strings, who writes the play? The truth gets lost another day. Finger pointing, flames ignite, divide the people, fuel the fight. But in the end, it's all a con. They're laughing while we're poor. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend, considering everything that happened over the weekend. We had a lot of crazy news, wild stuff. I felt like that song was very fitting today. Same thing with the title and the thumbnail. You know, red or blue, it's the same fucking bird at the end of the day. They all have this agenda that they all seem to align with. And we're just marching forward down that line still. And I don't know where it goes from here. But after the news over this weekend with the Epstein stuff, which I'll be talking about in greater detail, but after the Epstein stuff and the statements from our government and what they released over the weekend, I am leaning in the direction that Donald Trump is on that list. I mean, I've defended him previously, saying that they wouldn't have, you know, trumped up all these charges against him over a bunch of nonsense, like lawfare bullcrap. If he was actually on the list, they would have just used the list to go after him and get him that way. But now I'm more of the thought that this is much deeper than we were led to believe. This involves far too many people at the top, whether it's military officials, political officials, other world leaders, massive, you know, leaders within these massive companies and stuff. It's got to be like some of the most powerful people in the world if it's at the point in which both parties won't fucking touch it. I made a tweet. Let me pull this up. I made a tweet following this situation. What did I say? Where is it? I tweeted it at. I had a tweet. Where is it? These are all my replies. Or was it a reply? Let's see. I had a good tweet. Well, I did have a tweet. I said, with the government coming out saying Epstein basically didn't do anything wrong, I'm really starting to question if Trump is actually on that list. What else did I say? I was talking about this other stuff. I could have sworn I tweeted it out. I guess it didn't go out. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can't find my tweet. I don't know where the tweet went. Very strange. Very strange. Anyway, what I was talking about is if Trump was on the list, my original thought was that if he was on the list, that they would have used it to go after him. But now my thought is that it involves too many people for them to open that can of worms. They open that can of worms to go after Trump. It opens up all these other people to being targeted for the same exact thing. I think it's too far spread and too deep at this point for the people that we currently have in power to expose it. You look at clips from Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, and I do not believe they're saying the things that they're now saying willingly. You look at their facial expressions and the way that they're saying things when talking about Epstein, and it definitely seems like, in my opinion, obviously I can't prove it, in my opinion, it seems like they're being coerced in some way into saying these things. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to truly believe that the government tells you the truth 100% of the time? And how dumb do you have to be to believe that there's no list? There's absolutely a list. And I talked about it with some people, and I talked about it with my brother as well today. And, you know, maybe they're playing semantics. Maybe they're playing word games, right? Maybe there's no physical, actual list. Sure. Maybe there's not an actual list that he kept track of every single name and every single person. But there is absolutely a client list. There's no way ever in any world that there is not a client list for Jeffrey Epstein and the trafficking that he was taking part in. Let's see. We have this tweet. Well, since I'm talking about the Epstein stuff, did someone just follow? Selmer Joe. Welcome to TTN, Selmer Joe. Hello. Why did I get two of them? Two of them popped up. Very strange. Zoinks. Am I going to get another one? No. Don't forget to like this video, or next time you put on your shoes, your shoelaces will continuously become untied. I got a better one for you, Killing It. Make sure you like this video, because if you forget to like this video, we're still not going to get the Epstein list. The only way we get this Epstein list, guys, if you like the video. That's the only way. You gotta like the video, gotta share the video. It's the only way we'll ever get the Epstein list. That's how you convince them, Killing It. If you want the Epstein list released, and you believe that it truly exists and that the government is lying, you'll like this video. That's what I think. Anyway, let's see. We have this from James O'Keefe. Let's move over. I got a new screen for you guys. We're going to transition over to it. But boom, look at that transition. So do I have it pulled up right here? So no Epstein client list. What about the speed dial list of names on Epstein's bedroom that OMG uncovered? Did the Justice Department and AG Pam Bondi look into these people? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this. I mean, James O'Keefe has done great work. He did get to go into some of Epstein's private areas recently. Excuse me, burping. Did get to go into Epstein's private quarters recently, and there were a lot of interesting things in there. His glasses that he had been seen reading. He did have a list of speed dials for places that he worked and other individuals. So, I don't know. What was one of the comments I saw? So if Epstein didn't do anything, right? Why'd he kill himself? Why did he get arrested? Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison right now? I mean, honestly, it would have been better if the government just stayed silent instead of coming out and saying this. It honestly would have been better if they just stayed silent and didn't say anything. I think it would have been better for them. This just makes them look so much worse, in my opinion. We move on over to this from the Post-Millennial. Breaking: Trump, DOJ, FBI conclude. They have now concluded that Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself and that they have found no evidence of any client list. The client list doesn't exist. Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself in his cell. That is what the government wants us to believe. But if you're a sane and rational person, I don't think you truly believe that. How could you truly believe that? If you're unsure about how it is that he actually would have killed himself, just go look at Steven Crowder's episode. I'm not sure if it's still on YouTube, and it might not be on YouTube. I'm probably gonna have to go look that up on Rumble. But Steven Crowder actually set up a mechanism in place to measure the amount of force he was putting on his neck bone. He had similar blankets, a similar bunk bed, similar layout. He made sure to have as limited a space as Epstein did. There's no way Epstein could have killed himself in the way that he did without help. He, in the very least, had someone help him. There's no way he didn't, and the government is absolutely lying when they say that he killed himself all on his own, all by himself. Absolute lie. What's the chat saying? Killing It said LMAO, true. Killing It said it's true. Clint said bullish, F the lying government. That's why I played that song at the start. I made an AI song, dude. It sings about red and blue. They're both on the, they're both wings of the same bird. They both are flying towards the same fucking goal, and it's to fuck you and I. I expected this from the start. It doesn't exist. I don't believe he offed himself, but there's no client list. It was destroyed years ago. That's what I was saying, Boosh, when they were talking about releasing all this stuff. I kept saying, we've given them way too much time, especially in the last 6 months. If it wasn't destroyed before Trump got in office, it was 100% destroyed within the first 3 to 4 months. 100%. That list, if it ever did exist, does not exist anymore. So, like I said earlier, the government is 100% playing semantics with this. Either it did exist and they destroyed it, so now it no longer exists, or they're just playing semantics and there's an unofficial list that they know about, but they're only addressing. It's like what I told my brother earlier. It's the government does it all the time. We're sitting here yelling about the black book. The government comes out and says, there's no gray book. There's no gray book. And then they don't address the black book claim. They won't address the actual claim that what we're talking about, there's a list. Maybe there's not an official list. Maybe there's not a physical list that he had written down somewhere. But there 100% is a list of individuals that he was doing these things with, whether it was procuring women or procuring women for, if you know what I mean. 100% there's a list. 100% there's a list. It's absolute BS. Eternal Spartan said he did, off himself because someone threatened him to. It's a technicality that they leave out. He was coerced. That he can be honest about him offing himself, and that's one of the theories I've brought up before. For those of you that are in doubt whether he would actually kill himself or not, all I have to say to you is, for those of you that have children, would you do anything for your children? If Epstein had children, especially in the line of work that he was in, I would bet that he has some children somewhere. I guarantee you that if someone came to you and was like, hey, either you off yourself, stop cooperating with the government. If you continue to cooperate, you are going to implicate all these other people, and we will ensure that your family and your children live in misery the rest of their life. Something like that might convince someone. I don't know, with Epstein being the individual he was, if he had that kind of, I think it's sympathy or maybe empathy, but I could see that convincing him. I'm sorry, but I'm just angry. I trusted Dan and Cash, and they spit in our face and told us like it, and yeah. What I have to say to that, Clint, is, I mean, could you blame him? Same thing that I just said with Epstein. Someone goes to Cash and Dan Bongino. They're sitting there uncovering things, and then they're like, holy crap, this implicates all these people. And they're talking about releasing it. And these people find out that they're talking about releasing it. And then all they have to do is go to Dan and Cash and be like, hey, that's a nice family you got there. Be a shame if something were to happen to it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's a very easy thing for the government to do. And a lot of people say, well, why not just someone's got to take the dive, someone's got to just take the fall and do it. But that's the thing, who's going to do it? Who's going to be that selfless person that not only sacrifices themselves, but could also sacrifice their family in the pursuit of getting this information out there? I don't know if there's anyone that can do it. I don't see Cash doing it, and I don't see Dan Bongino doing it. You look at the fear in Dan Bongino's eyes in that news interview. I've shown it before. It's him and Cash, and they're sitting there answering questions about Epstein, and he answers so abruptly and so quickly, and you can see it in his eyes. The man is terrified. Um, it isn't just Dan and Cash. No, it's not just Dan and Cash. It's Pam Bondi. It's everyone in this administration. It's everyone that was in Biden's administration. That's exactly what I'm talking about in this stream today. Red and blue. It's the same fucking bird, just two wings of the same bird, and they're all flying in the same direction, and it's to fuck all of us. Let's see. Fire all three. If they all contradict each other, then they're all lying. But that's the thing, though, is everyone's lying. Everyone's lying. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They're lying about so much shit in this situation. One of the first things that came out about this story was that the cameras went down. Well, guess what just got fucking released yesterday? The camera footage that went down. How does that happen? How the fuck does that happen? And who cares about the camera footage? Because it doesn't show anything, and we knew it wasn't going to show anything because it's outside of the cell. Why don't they have cameras in the cell? You would think they would. It's Donald Trump, too. Yeah, no, it is absolutely Trump. Trump has final say at the end of the day. Yes, he does. Yeah, with everything coming out, I pulled up Donald Trump's Truth Social. All he's talking about is all the trade deals that he just got signed. And it's really interesting how they chose to release this information about Epstein in the middle of all of these trade deals getting announced and in the middle of this massive fucking travesty in Texas that I'm also going to talk about later. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. All of this is just, it just pisses me off. It pisses me off absolutely to no end. Oh, he looked like a gun was put to his head in that interview. I agree, Clint. Yeah, Dan Bongino looked like he had a gun to his head in that interview. Nibbas don't want to hear it, but that is the case. It's literally the same effing ish that previous admins do. That's what I said. We're taking the wins where we can get them. I'm all for this immigration stuff going on, as Maddie has brought up multiple times, and other friends of mine. The issue when it comes to men competing in men competing in women's sports, that issue has been largely dealt with as well. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, it's all still moving in the same general direction, and it's to cover up whatever this was. Whatever Epstein was a part of, the government is working incredibly hard to cover it up, and it's not Democrats. You cannot say that it's just Democrats. For all the people that were in doubt, saying that Republicans were involved with this shit, here you go. Here you go. This is all the evidence you should ever need to sit back and say, our government is fucked and there's no saving it. What do we do? What do we do? How do we get this information out there? How do we get the information from Epstein out there? Tyler, I'm not done eating, but I gotta come on. Hey, look, I'm sorry. This, of course, is the first thing I'm gonna get into, Joey. This is one of the only things that I have thought of as a nothing ever happens being true. Nothing was ever going to happen. It was always wishful thinking to me. Yeah, no, I agree. It was wishful thinking to everybody to ever think we would get the information on this. Like I said, this implicates way too many fucking powerful people. Think about the world governments that would go down because of this, or the governments around the world, I should say. Think about the governments around the world that would be implicated in this. Think about the top businessmen, top organizations that would be implicated in this. Just think, there would be so many fucking people implicated in this. Epstein isn't the only person. Epstein was just a middleman. He was just a middleman helping people get in between, he was helping people get blackmailed. He was helping people get access to these children and women. He was just a middleman. He was not at the top. He was never at the top. We always knew he wasn't at the top. And I guarantee you there are dozens, if not hundreds of more individuals like him. He was just the one that got caught. Is Joey in here? Joey's not in here yet. Hurry up, Joey. I know Joey wants to join. Matt Stork, I'm already live. I mean, I was going on a rant there for a minute, but I suppose I should read the article because, and actually before I read this article, I want to bring up this. This is an older article. This is not from today. I apologize. I am Tyler Today News, but this is not from today, but incredibly relevant. Anyone want to explain to me why just from a year ago, Jeffrey Epstein's secret bank account is still moving millions of dollars and no one knows why? Could be he has family, accomplices, maybe some children. I don't know. Today seems like a ranting kind of day. Yes, it is, Boosh. A judge in the Virgin Islands has declared that there is no explanation for why millions of dollars have been moving between one of Jeffrey Epstein's secret bank accounts after his alleged death. Tens of millions of dollars have been flowing from Epstein's estate into his Virgin Islands account since he's allegedly committed suicide. To make matters even more suspicious, the account was nearly cleaned out at the beginning of 2020 with no clear explanation as of where the money went. The news that somebody has been using Epstein's bank account since his death has added credibility to rumors that the disgraced associate of multiple VIP elites is still alive. The account was opened by Epstein in the Virgin Islands in 2014 and was reportedly intended to be used for a dynamic international banking firm that he planned to develop. On his application, Epstein said he wanted to pursue the dynamic discipline of international banking. Meanwhile, on the same application, he glossed over his very serious criminal history and his status as a registered sex offender, saying that he dealt with a previous legal challenge, but the case was discontinued. The account in the Virgin Islands sat dormant with very little activity for many years, and it is unclear whether or not his international banking firm ever brought on clients. Local authorities suspect it was used as some type of shell company for his criminal enterprise. Whoa, big surprise there. Despite the lack of activity on Epstein's criminal record, the bank renewed his license every year since he was first approved. Wonder why. The fact that this account still exists is not unusual in itself. Epstein had dozens of bank accounts throughout the world that he used for a variety of different purposes, both legal and illegal. The New York Times reported that the bank had $693,000 in assets when Epstein died back in August, but received roughly $12.9 million in the months afterwards. The account was cleared out and left with just under $500,000 around the first of the year. When questioned by Judge Caroline Herman Purcell, the lawyers of the Epstein's estate said that the payments were made in error, but the judge was not satisfied with the explanation and demanded that the lawyers provide a full accounting of the payments made from the estate. There's no explanation of it, the judge said. It is not clear when the lawyers of Epstein's estate will be required to turn over the records, but it is expected to be a priority considering the many lawsuits that have been filed against the estate. Absolutely wild. So there was money moving in and out of his account following his suicide. Anyone want to explain that? Anyone got a fucking explanation for that? Joey, if you can hear me, I know what the issue is. Just give me a moment. I gotta bring you in here. I changed my setup to be more like yours, Joey. So hang on just a moment. Oh wait, what am I looking at? Oh, okay. Guest screen. I'm bringing a guest in here. We're bringing Joey to come and rant. Which I'm sure he'll have plenty to say on the topic. Did that work? Oh, wait. Joey, you're here now. Can you hear me? Oh, wait. Oh. I know what I did. I know why you can't hear me, Joey.
I can hear you now.
I know why you couldn't hear me, is what I should say.
Because you're gay?
Evidently, yes. But
not as gay as our government.
Not as gay as our government, and not as corrupt either, evidently. I was just sharing this article that Luke Rudowski shared. This is from a year.
Yes.
Yeah, this is from a year ago. Jeffrey Epstein's secret bank account is still moving millions of dollars, and no one knows why.
I heard a theory that somebody has taken over Epstein for the operation. So that's why they're not releasing anything either. You
probably didn't hear it because you were getting ready, but I was literally just ranting about how we know Epstein was never at the top, and I can guarantee you there's dozens, if not hundreds, more people like him. He was just the one that got caught.
You know, this is such an important story, and I know like some people, some of those fucking Con Inc. people are just putting their heads in the sand and be like, well, this sucks, but I'm moving on to bigger, you know, we're doing all this stuff. And I'm like, listen, if you can't do anything with the Epstein stuff, how do you ever expect to drain the swamp? How are you going to drain the swamp if you can't do this? Is like a major monumental blackmailing ring to get all world governments by the balls. And if we can't do anything here, how are we going to drain the swamp?
You know who I blame in this? You know, I'm about to get really fucking pissed. You know who I blame for this? All of the motherfuckers that just kept saying, wait. Just
Wait,
wait.
yeah.
Just keep waiting, guys. Just keep fucking waiting for them to sit there and delete and remove all of the fucking evidence over the past 5 years.
don't
Now,
have
when
enough
we get
faith
someone
in
in there
Tyler.
that can actually
faith.
do something about it, they're not going to have any fucking evidence there. There's nothing there. There's not going to be a single goddamn thing. Whether the list existed or not, it's not there anymore. It's not fucking there anymore. And I blame every single motherfucker that was sitting there telling us, just wait. Just wait for it to happen. It's going to happen. They're gathering the evidence. They don't want people to slip through the cracks. Fuck you and fuck everyone that said that, because look who just slipped through the cracks. Every goddamn person on that list.
Just looking at the stream, I don't appear to be on.
You are on the stream.
I am.
Yes, you're in the bottom left corner. Wait.
Bottom left.
Oh, I'm retarded.
No, I'm not. That would be a hardwood floor, Tyler.
That would be a hardwood floor.
Can you guys even hear me? Can they hear me at least?
They should be able to hear you because you're on desktop audio. Either way. Well, now your camera's there. So.
Now I'm there. I speak from the
but now
shadows,
my picture's
like
not.
People who control Epstein.
Now my fucking image isn't there. I just had a good rant though. God damn it.
Yeah.
Gotta mess up my rant.
No, it's cool. But you know what?
No,
this is so frustrating. These wait and see motherfuckers. Like, why do we have to wait and see constantly when we already know? Like, if you know that when you put a stove on, it's going to get hot, do I have to wait and see every time that the stove is going to get fucking hot? No. I know the stove is going to be hot because I put the stove on. So when you see these certain signs coming from people in power, wait and see is the attitude that they want you to be in. Because if you wait and see, you kick the can down the road. That gives them more time to cover shit up. It gives them more time to figure out a defense. And it gives them more time to hope that you forget.
And that's what I said at the start of this rant. The government. Oh shit. Oh, like goal. Thank you guys for hitting the like goal. I'll change it in just a moment. But that's what I was saying earlier about this. Because fucking, goddamn, I lost my train of thought. I was saying something earlier about this. Shit, what was I saying? What were you just saying? You were talking about kicking the can down the road, and
it gives the deep state time for a defense. It gives them time to hope that people forget about it, and it gives them time to develop some clever propaganda scheme that people will, get warped in.
I remember what I was going to say now. What I was ranting about earlier, or in the middle of my rant earlier, I said it would have been better for the government to just not have said anything.
Yeah.
It would have been better for the Trump administration and the Trump government to not have said a fucking thing than to come out and say there's no evidence. Whether there is evidence or not, whether we're all just a bunch of fucking conspiracy theories or not, it would have been better for them to just stayed silent.
You know what? There might not be any evidence, but guess what? That doesn't mean they can't name names. Just name the name. I don't care if they look. I've said this before when we did our deep dive with Mad Stork and Nora. Don't arrest any of them. That's fine. Don't arrest any of them, but name them.
Yep. I've missed some of the chats. Boosh, I read yours. You said it seems like a ranting kind of day. Absolutely. There's a lot of things to rant about today. I can rant about the shit going on with Texas and the reaction to the Texas floods too.
Not a slow news day today.
No way you can claim that today.
Did you have a good July 4th weekend though, Tyler?
Overall, it was pretty good.
I had a good one. I played a lot of fucking video games this weekend.
Yeah, I hung out with friends and family. It was good.
Lame. Imagine having friends.
Imagine having friends outside of streaming. Anyway,
they all moved from New York.
Well, why does the island still have security walking around the island? Yeah, why does what the lawyers would say is because they just need someone, they need people there to prevent people from going on the island or something.
I imagine you showed the video, right, of the surveillance where it only went out for 1 minute.
Yeah, and then everyone's pointing out the 1 minute. I don't give a fuck about the 1 minute. That's a whole 6 hours before his body was supposedly found anyway. What I want to know is I want a statement from
being
the
found
people
and being murdered.
Found
and being murdered could be different times.
I know, but a minute, like, I guess a lot could happen in a minute. I don't know how substantial it is because I think the video is fake anyway.
You can walk in there, shoot somebody, and then leave.
Well, I think the video is fake either way.
Yeah.
So whether
Probably.
whether that minute was substantial or not, I think the entirety of that video that they've released is not real. I don't believe that video is real. I think it's either completely AI generated or it's just like not even the same day. Like I just don't believe it's real.
You know what makes this like people will be like, huh, well, you wouldn't believe them even if it was true. And it's like, yeah, based off the words that they've said. I'm only like when I judge Donald Trump, when I say Mr. Drain the Swamp, I'm not saying that to like shit on him. These are the words he said. These are the words he said.
Yep.
I'm holding him to his standard. I'm holding them to their standards. That's it.
Joey, I guess we need to put Pam Bondi in prison for lying to the American public that there's thousands of hours of child abuse material.
I got a prison she can go into.
I'm just saying, like, clearly she lied. Clearly that doesn't exist, right? None of that exists. She lied, so she should be charged.
She misspoke, Tyler. So as you see, this is what happens, guys, when you get into big positions of power. You don't lie. You don't deceive. You misspeak.
Oh, I misspoke, yeah.
Yes, but if I go to court and say, my honor, I misspoke, they'll tell me ignorance is not an excuse. Fuck them. I gotta put this belly in the sink. Bunch of crooks.
And then there was a video I want to watch when Joey gets back. It's of Dan Bongino from 2023 and 2025. Says that Epstein story is a big deal. 2023. There is no Epstein story. Dan Bongino 2025. Why did Dan Bongino turn on us? I used to listen to him every day. Heartbreaking. I'm telling you guys, it's not hard. It's not hard to go to someone like Dan Bongino. It's not hard to go to someone like Kash Patel and tell them, you release these names and your family will get it. Like, you threaten these people's family. You don't threaten them. You threaten their families. Oh, wait, we had more chats, too, before I played this video. We had a shitty gov going off. Said the feds are obviously in on it. I don't care if the truth crashes the entire country. We can rebuild. I don't care if the truth crashes the world. I want it to collapse if that's what we're being held up with.
If the estate is built on a bed of lies, do you want to live in that? Like, and if you are a moral Christian, or you believe in that, if you're religious like that, do you want that to be the reality that you just turn a blind eye to? Because we won't have a life of opulence. You want to turn a blind eye to the fact that we are ruled by fucking sick satanic pedophiles?
Yeah, if the argument is
I'll take a little hardship, brother.
If the argument is if we release the files, the world collapses, I say fuck it, release the files, because I don't want to live in a world built off a pedophilic ring with all the world governments.
You know what happens if the world collapses? The lot that actually knows how to live off the land and they know actually how to do tangible things.
Yep.
You guys take the reins then.
I'll be fucked, but that's fine. I'd rather those people live on anyway.
Listen. I mean, as objective newscasters, Tyler, as objective newscasters, we can recognize that people like you and me would likely be fucked. However,
would more than likely be fucked. I might be able to survive a week, but once I run out of water, I'm fucked.
Now, you're a scrappy motherfucker, though, so I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
Well, no, but I know how to fish, and I can do some light hunting. I know how to, skin animals and gut
Yeah, just
things.
drink your own piss. Anyway, but like what I'm saying
I guess,
is,
right?
just recycle that motherfucker. What I'm saying, my point is that right. Like objectively speaking, I can say what is the quickest way to wash our hands of this, and I know people don't want to hear this because it sounds scary, but a collapse is probably the easiest way to. Oh, that's right. We can go live with a sick of shitty government. He's offered that olive branch to us in the past.
Well, there we go. I've got family that aren't too far as well that are.
It'll be such a trek for me to get to Nebraska, but I'm sure I'll figure it out.
I've got closer options, but I'll keep it in mind. I've told everybody on my show previously, when the world goes to shit, two things: Civil War or the world goes to shit. Please come save me from California. Please come save Tyler. You guys need me. You need me. I'll be there for witty quips as we wander the wasteland. Joey walked away. Let's see. Justice is worth the risk of a crash. Everything. No exemptions. This ish is why I have no ill will towards the Alaskan Avenger or the Killdozer. I actually think they're heroes. Dude, it comes to a point where government power and just people in power become so corrupt and fuck people too far that, yeah, it comes to a point where their actions are justified. I'm sorry. Killing It Sense says yes. Clint says, hell yeah, effing right, let it out. I think he's talking about my screaming that I was doing. I'll probably get yelled at by my mother after, but it's fine.
She was like, Tyler, what are you doing in that room?
Quit
You're not
yelling
talking
in
bad
your
about the
fucking
Jews, are
room.
you?
Yeah. Pay your rent. Quit yelling. I could hear Joey, and I can see him now. I can see and hear Joey. Yeah, yep. Must sweat the plan. Joey got sweat the plan. Those men had bigger balls than most, and that judge in Russia that let the father get a light sentence for killing his daughter's, attacker, will say, wish we had judges like that. Absolutely. Shitty Gov said 60 seconds long chat or poisoning, forced suicide, could used a heart attack gun, then played it off like the coroner to lie about it. There's a lot of ways that they could have faked that. I kind of feel like this stuff is going to be used for some side of misdirect. I feel like the misdirect right now was Texas and the trade deals Trump's doing. I think they're trying to misdirect from the Epstein stuff, and that's why they released it. But they did it again. They did it all wrong. They shouldn't have said anything, and they shouldn't have released it on a Sunday. They fucked up releasing it on a Sunday. This gave people time to prepare for all their shows on Monday.
This is a big challenge, though. This is a big intersecting point that we're going to see. We're going to see how these quote-unquote MAGA influencers react. We're going to see how the Trump administration reacts. This is going to be maybe the first real time. Like, there was some pushback in the first administration about some of his hiring practices, and
Trump has made zero comment, by the way.
Yeah, dropping the bombs on the Syrian airstrip. Like, there are things that like he did in the first administration that people did not like, Operation Warp Speed, but they chalked it up to his good heart, and he just, you know what I mean? Like, they chalked it up to like just judgment calls. Now this is going to be the first test for him, I believe, where this is not a judgment call. You know, there's going to be some serious pushback from a lot of his base. And as you've seen, there has been pushback from the base.
Everyone is saying that this is bullshit. I haven't seen a single person say that, oh, yeah, trust the government. I haven't even seen someone jokingly say, yeah, trust the government.
Even feds like Jack Posobiec are fucking asking Pam Bondi for answers, you know, and that dude plays it about as safe as one could possibly play it.
Well, and then I think it was Charlie Kirk that they asked the question, why didn't Biden go after Trump for being on the list if he is on the list? And like I was saying earlier in my rant, this involves way too many fucking people to open that can of worms.
Yes, I literally had this conversation with my brother 5 minutes before your show went live.
So did I. With my brother.
Yeah, fucking look at this, like we just mirror each other, me and Tyler,
yeah.
Except, you know, maybe
well,
his
except
mirror
it was my
like
older brother and
smoke.
it's your younger brother, so.
No, it's my older brother.
Oh, it's also your, okay, never mind.
I don't have a younger brother.
I was mistaken.
But I was talking to him about, because he's like, I mean, perhaps one day I'll let him debut on these shows, but then all the women would see how fucking muscular he is, and I wouldn't get nothing. I'm kidding. Anyway. So he was saying
for the Joey's brother show instead of Joey.
yeah, the fucking Cannoli Brothers show. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm trying to fucking say is, we were saying exactly this. If they were to implicate Trump on that, it would open up a can of worms that would hurt them more than it would hurt the movement. Because knowing that Trump was a part of the group at some point, I don't know if that would be shocking to people. Now, him crossing over that red line of diddling kids, that would be shocking to people. But at the end of the day, I could say, well, maybe he did do that and then he became reformed. But like, however you become reformed. But you know what I mean? Like, he wanted to have a redemption arc.
I think at this point, he's 100% involved.
So, yes. And so this is basically what my brother said. He said when he was not arrested for those trumped up charges in New York, like they kind of just let it drop, even though they had the opportunity to sentence him if they wanted to. They delayed it.
Yep.
That is the point. And I said this when it happened. I said, I think he might have made a deal. And yes, he did get an assassination attempt on him, but
there's other world governments that are at play with that. You know, I think one of those attempts was Ukraine. I think Ukraine. You know,
maybe, but here's what I think happened instead is that they came to that deal to make sure he didn't get jail time, and he started to stray from that deal, and they reminded him not to stray from that deal.
Maybe. That's definitely a possibility. I mean...
And he said, okay, boss.
And
They said
Clint's got it in the chat. He said, well, Dan always said, do not trust me, trust the facts. If I don't bring the receipt, then don't believe it. Well, where's the receipt?
black pills everywhere. It's not black pills though. Like,
It's
you
not
gotta
black pill. We're
understand.
giving you a reality check, guys. The government is
can't-
lying to you. Trump is not on our side like we thought he was.
He is not. I was hoping that Trump would be this, you know, I thought he would be the one. He was talking with the moxie. He was talking with the
He was supposed to bring balance to the force,
He was
not
supposed
fucking
to bring
join them.
balance to the force. Now we've learned that Donald Trump is Darth Vader. He's not fucking, you know, he's not Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. We have so many chats.
Bring
I'm trying
balance to
to.
the force. So who's coming next? Who's going to come and help redeem Trump in about 20 years and make him a hero? Like, who's it going to be? Who's going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because he's not fucking really putting anybody on a pedestal for when it's over. Because he seems to think like it's not important what happens in the future. I'm going to fix it now. And it's like, dude, you're not going to fix it now just by making the economy good. The economy that's propped up on fake fiat currency. Like, who cares if you make that economy good? Yeah, it'll be nice for the next 3.5 years for us, for people who own land, for people who farm, for people who want to have cheaper groceries. Yeah, that's great. The economy is going to be better. And then what?
Mad Stork has it the other way around. He's saying that what happened in Texas is trying to be covered up with the Epstein. So he's saying that they dropped this Epstein shit to cover up the Texas flooding.
No. I love you, Mad Stork. No.
I think it's the other way around. I think they saw their opportunity with the Texas flooding and they were like, drop it.
I think I agree. I think that's Mad Stork editorializing because Texas is.
Well, I agree.
Happening there, very near and dear to his heart.
As you know, since Mad Stork is not on today, I can read some of his comments for him. So he said, as I told Noski yesterday, he said basically the Republicans are at fault for this. Where do we go? There was a massive thing that him and I were talking about. Basically, so he said the catastrophe was weather or cloud. The catastrophe was weather and or cloud seeding related. The catastrophe happened in a dry area, ideal for flash flooding. The local and state government had defunded what was needed to take care of it, and the local government is on record saying things like, it hasn't rained like that here in over 30 years. That is why it's called a 100-year flood zone. And him and I were talking about, he mentioned to me that there was a dam that was not, they didn't have any personnel there, so they were unable to open the dam in time. And there was also 2 spillways that were, they didn't have anyone there to open them in time either. So this thing basically filled up like a fucking fishbowl. And the government wasn't there, they weren't prepared for it. But again, I don't know, like that's just normal government incompetence and then a natural disaster occurring. I don't think that the Texas flooding is to, like, I think you have it backwards, Matt Stork. I think the reason they released this information about Epstein on a Sunday is because of the flooding stuff that's going on. And, I mean, I could just go through Truth Social right now. The last 12 tweets are 12 different trade deals that Donald Trump has just signed. So not only do we have this massive news with the Texas flooding, but we also have 12 new trade deals in the news. I mean, it absolutely seems like they're trying to bury this Epstein shit. But it's too big a story. They should have just stayed silent.
It sure does feel like they're trying to bury this shit, man. It really does. Because if this was the Biden administration, every one of us would be yelling into our little fucking webcam camera saying how this is a false flag. And now that it's happening under Trump, like, what has he done for me that makes me go, I need to look at this differently than I would if it was another administration?
Yeah, I mean, you make an excellent point there. Trump is doing a lot of, or, you know, we at least see him doing a lot of things that we like, but what has he actually done to lead me to believe, or to lead me to trust him to the point where I would believe his administration saying that Epstein had no list and that he killed himself? Trump has not done a single thing, nor has anyone in his administration done a single thing to show that I can trust them to the point where they have enough credibility to say something like this.
Tyler,
Not a single person in this administration has enough street cred for saying shit like this.
Maybe we could run some sort of poll here. What Do you feel like Donald Trump, based off of let's just say 5 years, because it's half a year in, you think after basically the 5 years that he's been in office, what is your like percent, 1 through 5, 5 being the most confident? Like, what has Trump done to make you think he's draining the swamp? Because that was the ultimate goal. He said he's going to drain the swamp. He's going to get rid of the corruption in government.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
On a scale
this is literally what he campaigned on.
On a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, I would say he's at a 2. I would say he's below the medium threshold.
I would give him a 2, and I would say once he got elected, he was at a 3 for me, and now he's at a 2.
Yeah, I would say earlier in the year, 3 pushing 4. Now he's 2,
yes,
pushing 1.
Yes. I had him at like a 3.5 ish. Like, I was like, you know what he's doing? You know what? I was like, this motherfucker, man, he's just throwing his dick on the table, and the deep state is recoiling. Like, that's what that seemed like.
That's what it was like at the first few months. Now it seems like.
And he gets in.
Now it seems like they're in a tailspin.
It looks like that they agreed to something. And listen, I really do hope I'm wrong. It looks like they agreed to something, and this is just theater now.
Yep.
Like, honestly, even like think about like the reactions that the left is having too in regards to Trump.
Yeah.
His first term, like every week, the left was trying to do something to call him the fucking biggest. Like, they kept making things up. Nowadays, they're just like, okay, we're gonna just use the same talking points. We're not gonna invent new ones. They haven't been as insanely bombastic as they were during his first term. I know people might have like recency bias and think that, but like these riots ain't really shit, dude. Like, the fact that a certain cool individual is bumped because of riot coverage is like they were really trying to overblow how fucking bad these riots were, because these riots ain't shit compared to his first term.
Mad Stork's talking in the chat. He said, as I said last week on Chris's show that went, so his extended version for, I believe it was Friday, or was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday, huh? Either way, Chris had an extended version for the Quiet Part Pod. I suggest you guys go check that out. Mad Stork was on that one. But Mad Stork said, as I said on last week on Chris's show that went long, the reason they have several reasons for not going into Texas. One is that the population is of higher proportion, and the other is that they are armed. And I think he's talking about for immigration reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, that's a fucking issue, though, Mad Stork. That's a fucking issue. You're talking about our government being afraid to go and deport people because they're armed. That's terrifying. I was just saying, because most people don't seem to know that. Woo, I made it. What's up, Brother Boot? Friday, the other story was the shooting. That's right. Boosh said Darth Vader killed hundreds of innocent women and children, and people generally. He was not a good guy.
Man, I gotta really makes you wonder. That's right, that fucking Idaho shooting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ooh. That makes me wonder, man. When did that happen? Was that Friday?
I think so. I wasn't following that when I was with family and stuff.
Yeah, right. So I think that was Friday.
What happened with the shooting? What was that significant?
God, was this really Friday? I feel like it feels like it's been a week ago. So maybe I'm
June
wrong. June
29th.
Okay, so that was a week ago.
Oh, the West Rowley one. Okay, yeah, West
and that
Rowley.
was on Friday though, right? That was on a Friday, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't on. I think that was Wednesday.
June 28th, did you say?
29th.
29th. So July 4th was a Friday.
So it was like Monday.
No. July the 3rd, 2nd, 1st. How many days are in? 30, 29.
It's the 30th.
So it was Saturday then.
Saturday. Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
So
it was late Saturday.
What if that? If we're getting conspiratorial, like maybe that was something that was done to like pull at people's heartstrings first. I don't know.
I don't know.
Guy calls up firefighters just to shoot him. That's a really distracting story.
There's been a lot of. I feel like there's been a lot of distracting stories lately.
The shooting at the immigration office. All right, that was one too, man. A lot of shit. Just tell you what, man. You can't say we don't live in interesting times.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, the other story was the shooting.
That one in Denver, right? In Denver, was that in Denver, Mad Stork?
Well, are we talking about the one at the ice? Yeah, the ice facility shooting.
Yeah, I think
Tim
so.
was just talking about that today. That one was crazy. It was a group of kids, and they opened fire on an officer, shooting him in the neck. The reporting was that he's gonna live though.
Now let me ask you something. Now I'm thinking about this immigration thing Matt Dork said, where it's hard for them to go in on them because they'd probably get into like a shootout. Could that potentially be used if the Trump administration wanted to do it? It's right wide open for them, and based off the last 2-month history, I'm not too sure, but like this could be used to pass some quote common sense gun reform type stuff. Oh well, we have to have this information because we don't know how many illegals have it.
God,
They might start using the illegals. They might start using that illegals thing as a scapegoat, the way that the left uses climate change.
That's
Like,
that's way too smart, Joey. Please do not manifest that.
Be careful for that.
No, I'm glad you're calling it out, because that is definitely a vector of attack, for sure.
I'm not just a pretty face, Tyler.
Not just a pretty face. Hey, as my brother said earlier in the comments, sorry guys, there's a lot of comments. If you want to ensure that I read your comment, you got to send in the Rumble.
This message is sponsored by Tyler Today Network.
As my brother said earlier, he said the brothers can host a show. Let's go. Definitely. Hey, I can host a show every now and again. I'm just saying. Look, we got Lynch Mob in the chat, even over on YouTube though. Lynch Mob, what are you doing on YouTube, brother? Easy legislation. To buy a gun, you have to show a real ID, and real IDs are not allowed for non-citizens. Yeah, that would be an easy fix.
And you know what though? A lot of people are going to see that as that give an inch to take a mile though. People will start to.
A lot of people have complained about the real ID shit. A lot of people talk about their privacy and how they need this new government ID.
Yep, people already complain about that. So I'm just saying, keep an eye out for it.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for it. They'll be like, listen, don't you want us to deport these illegal immigrants that are destroying your economy, blah, 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 taking your jobs? Well, you're going to have to register your gun.
So let's see this clip from
Give us your
Dan
address
Bongino.
And let us have access to your Twitter account. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Joey, I want to
over our heads, bro.
I want to you bring up excellent points, but I do want to go back to the Epstein stuff. So Dan Bongino in 2025. I want you to see this clip. Give me your thoughts, of course. But I also want you to tell me at the end of this clip if you think Dan Bongino has some sort of gun to his head on the clip to the right. Let's see.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
So that was the first clip, and then here's the clip from him more recently.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Listen,
The man looks like he has a gun to his head.
All right, let me break this shit down from a fucking scientific standpoint. First of all, obviously the coloring is different because of the cameras.
Yes.
But that person on the left has more weight in his face. Look at the intensity of his eyebrows, like the wideness of his eyes.
He looks
speaking with
far
passion
more
on the
sincere.
left.
Far more
He's speaking
sincere.
with passion on the left.
Yeah.
You can see the anger in his eyes, and then look at this one on the right. His eyelids are so relaxed. His eyes are so relaxed. He is not widening his eyes. There's no intensity in his eyebrows.
And
he looks fucking pale.
I've seen the whole file.
There's no fucking lights in his eyes. He looks like he's seen some shit. That's that type of face you get. He's seen some shit.
I've said it before. During that interview, it didn't seem like it was something he wanted to say. It seemed like something he wanted to just get out. Like, it seemed like he had to just get it out, get it over with.
He knows who the fucking base is, man. He knows what this base is. And, his base is what he was doing in 2023. And he knows that if he were to hear that answer in 2023, he knows exactly what he would say. He would say what we're all saying. So if you guys can't say something, be better about saying what you're saying. Really convey it to us what's going on with a nice wink, wink. Please, somebody use some clever subtlety that a genius like Tyler could figure out. Okay?
Well,
Please, somebody.
I,
Not stupid people. Give us a wink, wink. Come on, wink. Let us kind of, in Minecraft, wink.
I don't know how we get clips of Pam Bondi talking about how she has the list on her desk, and then also says that she has thousands of hours of child abuse material that she's having people
but no
go
evidence.
through.
But no evidence.
Let's play devil's advocate here, Joey. Let's say the thousands of hours are only of Epstein. How did he get the girls? Where did the girls come from?
Why would
they don't explain that. They don't fucking explain it. They just say it didn't happen.
I have a hard time believing it's just thousands of hours of Epstein, though, because
I doubt it's just Epstein too. I'm just saying, let's play devil's advocate. There's no fucking list. It's just Epstein. In the very least, and I guarantee you he's not with one girl for 1 hour, so it's a lot more than 1,000 girls. Where did he get access to all of those girls? Whether they're children or adults, doesn't matter. How did he get access? Where did he get them from? And what happened to them?
Another thing to be seen about this too, and it's a good point you bring up by saying, what if it's all just Epstein in those videos? This is a sophisticated black ring organization. Like they might be organized extremely well. Like they might have specific camera angles on specific people
and fucking category. I'm guarantee you he categorized it too.
There's
no way he's gonna be like, oh, where's that file I had on Trump, and he's sitting there going through all the ones he has on the Clintons. Like, no, he's gonna organize it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is all these camera angles. Like this one could be, this is the Bill Clinton camera angles. You're right. It might just be the Jeffrey Epstein camera angles. Because that's, if I'm thinking about like an operation like that, you're going to have like a lot of these people in a lot of different rooms, and you need certain angles of certain, things. Make sure you get him on this couch and keep him there,
Yep.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, so they might have it filed, and like all the hard drives might be like saved separately, not on like one sort of, like I go to Google and be like, give me a list of all the Disney movies in alphabetical order. Like, it doesn't work like that. You have to like get each angle.
I talked about it with my brother as well. And let's say they don't have the files, right? They're being completely honest. There is no evidence of a client list. They don't have any of it because it's all with Mossad. And that would explain very easily why Trump was just so eager to go bomb Iran for fucking Netanyahu. Just saying. Mad Stork is forcing me to read his Rumble rant because he knows how to get me to read things. He knows the Rumble rant is the way to make me read anything you guys say. Gotta promo it, Joey. At Tyler, either they lied to us then or they're lying to us now. They were bullshitting then about what they were ignorant about. Either they were lying about what they had or they're lying now. They can't have it both ways.
Well, no, I mean they are lying now. I mean they're just lying now.
Yeah, no, I believe them when they said that there was a bunch of sex trafficking and abuse going on. I believed them then. I don't believe them now. That's my position, because I agree with you, Stork. Either they're lying then or they're lying now, and I am 100% in the camp they're lying now.
I gotta say though, like this isn't like one slip up, okay? This isn't like Pam Bondi said one thing and whoops, you misspoke. She got over anxious. Yeah. She did like 4 or 5 different things.
Multiple things from Pam Bondi, multiple things from the FBI, multiple things from multiple different sources.
We didn't get anything from those two. The first thing we get from them motherfuckers, Kash Patel saying it's Mr. Kennedy speaking at the like he was like, yeah, he killed himself. That's like the first we heard of Kash Patel since he got into the damn administration.
Yeah, one of his first statements he made was that Epstein killed himself. One of his first public statements. And gosh, he's lucky that John Kennedy was there to fucking make it humorous. Yeah. So people kind of just laugh it off. It's amazing how fast the Trump cabinet is being assimilated.
Assimilated, yeah.
Yeah, they're just
You will
assimilating
assimilate.
right into the blorg, right into the
Well,
mess
Borg,
of
not the
corruption.
Borg.
The blorg, the Borg, whatever.
The blorg. That's a very,
Blorg.
very
No,
large.
I'm calling it the blorg.
The blorg, because our politicians are blobs now.
They're a bunch of fat blobs. Yeah, fucking blorg.
His administration is
No,
being
it's the bloated.
assimilated.
It's because they're joining the
Bloated,
bloated
yeah.
government. They're part of the blorg now.
There you go. So it is funny though, because I heard, I think some of you guys probably saw this story, that there's high-level immigration person lobbying Trump to do amnesty for certain illegal immigrants. Sort of sounds like Reagan term too.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. I saw people talking about that too. And Trump's now talking about giving amnesty to farm workers that are here illegally. Fucking bullshit. No, we're not giving.
This is your brother. You're saying it's the same thing with Tulsi Gabbard saying Iran is nowhere near making a nuke.
Yep.
Then Trump says she's wrong. She's the director of national intelligence. Yeah.
Yep.
Change of plans. One to pick up wife. You mean going?
Wait, change of plans. One. I don't know what you mean by that, Stork.
Does he mean he was going to come on, but now he's not because he's picking up his wife?
Wait. I didn't see his DMs. I think he was saying that he messaged me a while ago saying that he could come on. God damn it. Stork, why didn't you say anything in the chat?
Yeah, just say something in the chat. That's what I do all the time.
I
I'm like, Tyler, something's wrong.
I don't have Discord pulled up. God damn it.
I'll be like, Tyler, something's not working right.
He said on my way. So
Where?
yeah, on your way.
Oh, on his way to pick up the wife. Okay.
On your way to pick up. Okay. Change of plans on the way to pick up wife. Okay, we got it. We got it down. Anyway, I've literally ranted for an hour about this fucking thing. Let's actually read this together. Have you read the file yet?
What, the Epstein file?
The actual document they released?
You know I don't know how to read.
That's fair. So I'll read it to everybody for those of you that haven't seen it yet. This is the official statement from the FBI. As part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive review of investigative holdings related to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure that the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of its databases, hard drives, network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas, locked cabinets, desks, closets, and other areas where responsive material may have been stored. These searches uncovered a significant amount of material, including more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. The files relating to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who were either minors or appear to be minors, and over tens of thousands of downloaded videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and other pornography. Teams of agents, analysts, attorneys, and privacy and civil liberties experts combed through the digital and documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting victims. Much of the material is subject to court-ordered sealing. Only a fraction of the material would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial, as the seal served only to protect the victims and did not expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography, nor should they. They should not permit the release of that, but they're just playing semantics here. That's not what people are asking for.
Yeah, they're using the child pornography angle as like a cover as to why.
Yeah, they're like, guys, you're asking.
You don't need to release any fucking videos.
Yeah, they're asking. This is what I said earlier when we're like, guys, release the black book, and they're like, no, we're not going to release the gray book. We're sitting here telling them, guys, release the evidence, and they're like, we're not going to release child porn, and it's like that's not what we're asking for. That's literally not what we're asking for.
You know what it is? There's not an actual physical list.
That's what I said earlier.
In all these videos, we see who the fuck's in there. So just say who's in there.
Exactly what I said earlier. I was like, they're playing semantics. There's probably not an actual fucking list where he sat there and wrote down names. I guarantee you there's not an actual fucking list. That's not what people mean. That's not what people mean when they say client list. They're saying what you're saying. Look at the people that are in those videos. Those are his fucking clients. Make a list.
No, that's why I keep saying I don't want to see judicial justice. Just name who they are. You know, when you have fucking pedophiles or sexual abusers on the sex registry list, you know where they
Chris
live.
has got it too. Chris has got it right here. Who did Maxwell traffic those girls to if there's no list? There's no list, guys. There's no list. Who did she traffic kids to? Nobody. Trafficked them to nobody. trafficked them with nobody, from nobody, to nobody. All right, guys? So saith the government. Absolutely ridiculous. No, show me the accounting documents of payments received. No, show me the...
Too.
Yeah,
He's saying showing him, the accounting documents.
Yeah, we're not asking for the child porn. We're asking for, I don't know, financial records. We're asking for, like you said, names of individuals in the videos. We're not asking for the content of the videos. I don't want to see that. No one wants to fucking see that. Well, maybe people in the same camp as Epstein want to, but I sure as fuck don't.
I want this done like it's the NBA draft or the NFL draft. This is what I want. We're gonna go full blown fucking bread and circus entertainment with this shit. I think that's what we need to start doing with our fucking politics if we want to start appealing to people and winning. Just go fucking full pro wrestling. What I want is I want it to be like the NFL draft. I want you to start naming names like it's the NFL draft. You're going to draft them from worst to, like, we're going to get a team of people that are going to draft them. Who's the worst?
Like, who are the names we know are for sure on there? Fucking Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, 100% are on that fucking list. And not for minor things.
When we list the names, though, I want it to be on broadcast TV. And I want Mike Lindell to announce every name.
Dude, I want Cash to, like...
Bill Gates!
I was hoping Cash would, like, gather up his family and then go to a secure bunker in an undisclosed location and then just start naming names. That's what I was hoping would happen.
We get leaks all the time from the government about all this unimportant shit.
And then they never know who the leaker is, yeah.
There's no courageous motherfucker that wants to leak this?
Yeah, even if it was all in crypto, there's a full ledger of it. It would have to all be in cash payments for there not to be record. But we already know that it's not cash payments because this dude had multiple bank accounts.
Yep.
So there's just utter BS. So then what it says this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Consistent with prior disclosures, this review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined throughout the materials. This includes specific details such as victim names and likenesses, physical descriptions, places of birth, associates, and employment history. We don't want any of that. No one's asking for any of that. One of the highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to the victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither of those ends. To that end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in this government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice, that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is the government saying, we're shutting the book.
Joke.
The government just shut the book.
Yeah, that's what we discussed earlier, Chris. They're saying Epstein, diddled all those kids himself. Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. That's what I brought up. What I brought up earlier about the different types of camera angles. Like they might only have the camera footage for.
And like
Epstein
I said,
himself.
Like I
but
said
why don't
to
they
Joey,
just say that then?
Like I said to Joey, let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say what they said is 110% true. Epstein is the only person in those videos abusing children. How did he get the children? What happened to the children? Who did he get the children from? Where did the children go after? Who was involved on his island? Who was there moving the boats, moving the cars? There is absolutely no way in fucking hell that there's no third party. You're absolutely bullshitting me.
Operation.
It was a whole entire operation. Maybe you can get away with saying that it's a conspiracy theory that there were powerful individuals being blackmailed, but the's no way in fuck you'll ever convince me that the people on the island were not involved. They're absolutely involved.
I have another theory since I let my brain go that place. So a normal brothel doesn't necessarily have cameras up, right? So what if this is a situation where the videos Epstein were in were essentially like trailers for these sick people to watch and see what they want? And that's why he's in those videos. And then the stuff that they do in the back at the brothel area, that's all on the low. So that's how they like, they will know that you spent money here and that you're here. but there might not necessarily be footage of you doing anything. But the fact that you're here at this place is enough.
You know, killing it. We talked about that before, and Joey and I are both the same mindset. Fuck it, do it. What if killing it says? What if they're shutting the book on this because of the potentiality that world leaders would be implicated in this and lead to a potential war? Joey and I already spoke on that earlier in the show. It might have been after you joined in, but essentially what him and I said were, "Fuck it, I don't want to live in a world built on top of that anyway."
And I think that's even the fucking religious answer too. Talk about like Slick, who will be hosting After Dark later. From a religious standpoint, if the whole world that you're living in is built on lies, like, do you want to fucking turn a blind eye to that?
Yeah, is that a world you even want to live in?
Because
I don't want to live in a world where it's built on pedophiles and lies.
The foundation of our world, at the very least, in the last 450 years, have been built upon this sort of satanic evil force, this tempest that has overtaken people to do the most sick, unimaginable things possible. And like, these are the people that control our lives. These are the people that let Hollywood know if it's okay or not to do this in a movie. They tell big business, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. We're going to protect you. Like, they do this. This is the type of stuff they do. And like, you want that to be your reality. You would rather it not collapse and then see if we, the people, are able of picking ourselves up out of it. I know that sucks. And like, a lot of people will die. And like me and Tyler said, me and him will probably be top candidates for not making it out of a year. But like, from the standpoint of objectivity, I mean, that is the way to defeat this force. We have to be able to live on our own. And that is the ultimate test. You can follow me on Our World.
I have the footage of apparently his cell. I think this is fake. I don't think it's real footage. I think the timestamps are changed. There's many different possibilities on how they faked this. End of the day, my opinion is this video isn't real, whether it's AI, timestamps changed, or what. I don't think this video is relevant or real.
Yeah, it is irrelevant because, oh wow, you're showing how fucking nobody was there. It's like, dude.
Look, guys, you don't see Epstein at all in this fucking video. Proves nothing happened to him.
Yes, if you don't have video of him somehow hanging himself like that, then I don't want to hear it. Yeah, if January 6th bought anything near an item in DC, they get rounded up. But like, I can't know if somebody essentially used the physical dark web and purchased underage women.
Shit on Epstein Island. Yeah, what Chris said in the chat.
Completely destroy their fucking innocence.
Yeah, they've had. Well, see, that's the thing, Chris, is that they haven't had 5 months. They've had almost 6 fucking years. They haven't had 5 months. They've had almost 6 fucking years.
You're assuming the Trump administration worked on the AI footage. It's no. If Trump is
they've been cooking that book for a while, brother. They've been cooking that book for a while.
If Trump is now bowing to them in this sense with the Epstein stuff, then they're giving him the order and telling him to do this.
Look, I made the joke with my brother earlier because we were talking about how Trump was the no wars president. He's supposed to stop Ukraine and Russia. Not doing that. Russia, I don't know if you've seen recently. I talked about this recently. Putin said peace is off the table. Peace is no longer an option with Putin.
He's probably also putting his chest out there, just letting it. He's probably also saying that just to remind Donald Trump, hello.
No. I think what happened is Ukraine have made legitimate attempts on his life in the middle of these peace talks. And now Ukraine is attacking deeper and deeper into Russia.
And like I said before, is Donald Trump on default has chosen Ukraine and Israel as our allies.
And that was the other point is,
yes,
maybe let's, again, I got to bring it up. A lot of people have made comments. Dan Bongino himself has made comments that Epstein was an agent of Mossad or was working for Mossad in some manner. If that is in any way true, Mossad probably has all of this evidence that we're looking for. That's why our government doesn't have it. And I don't know, Netanyahu could, because everyone's talking about how Netanyahu's just tugging Trump by the balls, just tugging him around. Could be because he's hanging that fucking list over his head. Just a thought. Everyone questions how Israel is able to push the United States around. Could be that they have the fucking list.
I got it. I think I got it, guys. Nah. I got a new conspiracy. I just thought of it.
After whatever you say, I got to read my comments from my co-host that isn't here.
What if Netanyahu went to Trump and said, "We'll give you these other Epstein-related stuff, but you have to do what I want first."
Right, start a
And
war
that's
with
why-
Iran,
and
and then
that's
we'll
why-
give you, and then we'll give it to you.
And that's why they're waiting. They're always like, "Well, we're waiting. We're doing this. We're doing that." You know, because they're waiting for. And it's like, no. We're not done yet. You don't get these yet.
Yeah, Chris just said all of the cabinet members have come to enjoy Netanyahu's member up their rears, and he said
Netanyahu's
Bongino
Richard.
included. Yeah,
Richard
and then
Hertz.
what's TJ saying? TJ Rain Man could not join us today. Busy man, works late nights. He couldn't join us today. He said, what if Trump got
welcome to
all
Street
of these
Corner.
trade deals because he buried the Epstein evidence? Oh, shit. Successfully blackmailed the world leaders. Regardless, it's BS that they're burying it. Hey, that's a good theory, though. He literally just released a fuck ton of trade deals. At the same time, this is getting the book closed on it.
That'd
Kind of
be
weird
funny.
coincidence. He makes a good point there. What do you think about that, Joey? You think that there's any speckle of truth to that, maybe?
That would be hilarious.
That'd be fucking legendary, just saying.
It would be legendary, but it would essentially be what the people were fighting do. So at the end of the day, it's like, if our world's going to be built off of we're successful because we fucking sexually blackmailed all the world leaders.
Yep.
Am I supposed to be okay just because Donald Trump used it to his advantage?
No.
And you really got to think about it like that. Are you looking for results, or are you looking for the way to achieve it? Like, do you want to use cheat codes, or do you want to actually be good at what you're doing? Like, I don't know if I'd want everything to go our way if it has to be done that way.
Right. No, I completely agree. And TJ, we talked about that earlier, about the minute missing. And then let's see, read that from Chris, and then it says there's a big part of me that believes if Andrew, Trump, both the Clintons, and Bibi Netanyahu all held hands on live TV and exposed everything they did, nothing would happen.
Wow, they're so honest. You don't see this level of honesty from the left.
And then Fishy says, out of 10 hours of video footage, why the F is 1 minute missing? Who the F did Ghislaine traffic to if nothing happened? Exactly. That's exactly what we're saying. That there's a lot that can happen in a minute. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I think it's irrelevant though because the video is fake either way. And then yeah, we already made the point about Ghislaine. It would be legendary, but it wouldn't be right or okay. Evil needs to be exposed and held accountable. Just a tinfoil hat theory.
Yes,
we've already been. TJ, go back and watch the whole show. We touched on that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Is basically like turning a blind eye to it. Like,
Yeah.
if he's going to use this as leverage to make America great again, but
worth
these people are going to be allowed to be in their positions of power, and they're not going to be, drawn and quartered on live TV. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And Clint
then
said that
turning a blind eye to it.
Clint in the chat said that we're basically saying what Luke from We Are
Luke
Change
said,
is saying.
yeah.
He was saying it on
Well,
the
that would make
quartering.
sense, considering some people wonder if I am Luke.
Yeah, I have Luke's twin brother on the stream today, guys. So I mean, should you really be surprised? All right, well, I think that's enough ranting. I'm sure you'll do more ranting about the topic on your show. I do want to talk.
I am an IRS debt. No.
Yes. I want to talk about. Let's see. I want to bring this up. So this was interesting. This was actually on Friday. This was after my show, so I didn't get to talk about it. But this happened leading into the weekend. China tells the European Union that it cannot accept Russia losing its war against Ukraine, officials say. And I'm not going to read the whole article. Oh, I guess no, I'll read it. It's short. I thought it was longer. I thought it was a longer one. Says Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, whatever, told the European Union's top diplomat that Beijing can't accept Russia losing its war against Ukraine, as this would allow, or could allow, the United States to turn its full attention to China. An official briefed on the task said, contradicting Beijing's public position of neutrality on the conflict. Everyone knew they weren't neutral. The admission came during what the official said was a 4-hour meeting with the EU Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas on Wednesday. That's such a EU name. Oh man, such a European name. On Wednesday in Brussels, that featured tough but respectful exchanges covering a broad range of issues from cybersecurity, rare earth trade, and yada yada. So yeah, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Essentially, what the diplomat was saying is that China will not accept Russia losing its war because we would be able to focus on them. And obviously that makes a ton of sense. That makes a fuck ton of sense. If we cripple Russia to the point where we don't have to see them as a threat anymore, we would absolutely turn our full attention to places like Iran and fucking China. China doesn't want that. China wants Taiwan. They want to split on as many fronts as they can. I guarantee you China is helping facilitate the strengthening of the cartels in Mexico. Whether it's through the fentanyl that they provide or legitimate arms. And then you talk about all the trade deals they do with all the Middle Eastern countries and they get them to hate us. You talk about their aiding of Russia and so many things. Russia, China, all these places are our enemy at the end of the day. I don't want Russia to be an enemy. I think China should remain an enemy. They're fucking assholes. But
listen,
again,
any Chinese refugees, female Chinese refugees, I'm here for you.
there you go. Joey's here for you. You can go to New York. What's called? Yeah, Fishy said you sound very similar in voice too.
That's what I've heard. I think I get more animated than Luke does, though.
A little bit, yeah.
You know,
I agree.
A lot of the times I'm chill, but man,
More
when I
hair,
get into
too.
it, like when I'm yelling, yeah, he wishes he had hair like this, man. Tell you what, a lot of people wish they had hair like this, though.
Oh yeah.
Like when I went to high school, bro, all them black girls, they just touch my hair.
Chris said he wants them all to be enemies. You know, I'm with that, Chris. Let's just make everyone in the world an enemy.
Yeah,
Everyone in the world's an enemy now. What the fuck is China going to do about it? They're obviously aggravated with the United States. They say Russia can't lose, but what can China do? If they step in, we step in back. It's a catch-22 for them. Yeah, but they can they can do what we're doing. They'll just supply things to Russia covertly.
If only we didn't have Richard Nixon open the door to China. If only our foreign policy wasn't such shit for the last 80 years.
So what's your prediction? We're now, okay, we'll say 6 months, even though it's July. We'll say 6 months into the presidency because it started on January 20th. 6 months into the presidency, Joey, you see any of these wars ending?
Nope.
I mean, Israel keeps talking about how they're going to have a ceasefire, and then they're continuing to bomb Gaza. I had a story, I forget if I covered it or not last week, but apparently while they were striking Iran, on their way back, they had munitions still in their jets, and they were given the go-ahead to start dropping them on the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, I mean...
They're like, oh, just empty it. We don't want to fucking empty it when you get back. Just go drop them.
Nixon was indeed a crook. Yep. Listen, this has just been the foreign policy, guys. Like I said, we create our own enemies down the line. China was one of those mistakes. Everything in the Middle East is that same mistake. So when I argue with people about, in this singular moment, what is the right thing to do, I don't care about that because that's how they get you every time. They make you making singular decisions. You're not making dimensional thought. You're not making a dimensional decision. You're making a very binary decision. And it's like, we can't do that. We have to extract from this because every fucking time we do some foreign policy bullshit, it literally bites us in the ass 25, 30, 40 years down the line. They are literally creating our own enemies.
Yeah. I mean, like I was just saying about the fucking with Russia. Putin he had a conversation with Trump on the phone, and he basically said that he's not leaving Ukraine until he can ensure they never join NATO. Essentially, what he's saying is, I'm going to take Ukraine so that NATO doesn't.
Yeah, again, it just be blasphemy to say like 20 years ago as people who vote Republican, but he's not wrong. He's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
you should take Ukraine and make sure that it doesn't join NATO. Like,
yeah, if I was a Russian citizen, I would. Yeah, if I was a Russian citizen, I would 100% be on the side of Putin right now, being like, yeah, we have a world government directly trying to combat us, and they're trying to take what used to be a part of our country and turn it into theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, absolutely. That we've made the comparison before. That's like if we had a collapsing in the United States and someplace like Texas decided to not rejoin with the United States when we came back together, and then China's CCP had them trying to join BRICS. we'd be fucking invading Texas to prevent them joining BRICS.
Yeah, you'd be like, no, you ain't joining BRICS, bro.
You ain't joining
because Texas
BRICS.
would probably be able to be self-sustainable if they joined BRICS. Like, really?
Well, we'd be like, tell you what, you don't get to join BRICS, you get to join the United States back again. That's your option. Your option is you rejoin us.
But from a population standpoint, too, this was a problem. This is one of the grievances that led to, World War II. Was the Treaty of Versailles literally took German-speaking areas and told them, you need to join France now. What gives them the right to say to a population that you're not this anymore, you're this? Yeah. So there is a lot of that sentiment in Ukraine in regards to Russia. And what are you supposed to do? Tell those people that they can't live where they ethnically fit in? Or are you going to tell that German that he has to live in France now? He needs to change the language that he knows because we told him so? Yeah. Who are they? That's like the same thing with putting Israel and Palestine at that point when they gave it to the Jewish leadership. Who are they to say? Who is the UN to say what something is or isn't? I always heard that. Well, they didn't consider Palestine a state, so they went in there and took it. Who gives them the right to tell a sovereign people that they're not something? Yeah, could you imagine if the government told you you didn't own that fucking house you got? Yeah, some world government comes in and they're like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't recognize this as your property, and we don't recognize you as human, so we will do what we please. So just imagine that. You don't know how bad those Germans were treated in those countries that they were forced to join. They were like outcasts because they didn't know the language. The kids are probably made fun of constantly because of that. Yeah. Kids are fucking cruel, bro. Especially back then when they didn't have video games. Man, they were cruel. But like that's the same. It's the same thing. You're telling these people that you're forcing them to be inside of Ukraine to have the NATO protection, essentially, even though they're not part of it. To have the NATO protection. When they're just unofficially want to be Russian. Ukraine is unofficially a part of NATO. Yeah, they're basically like they're there. They're like the close friend. They're like Capadonna with the Wu-Tang Clan. Like he wasn't the 10th member, but he kind of was. Yeah, we're just playing semantics at this point because it's not that they're in NATO, but they might as well be a NATO ally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're NATO allies, whatever that fucking means. Means they're in NATO to me. If you're going to do the same thing as you would for your ally as you do with a treaty assignment, then they're fucking inside the treaty. I mean, I don't need a goofy... Garrett, there you go again. I don't need a fucking government contract to tell me that fucking Ukraine is inside of NATO right now. They would never tell someone we don't own our house. They still want to tax the property value. Yeah, unless the government wanted it for themselves. The railroads, bro. Like they did with those fucking railroads. If you are in the way of the most efficient path, they would literally fucking make you move. We've never had rights like people think. Yeah, Zelensky was at the NATO summit. Yeah, he was at the NATO summit. This rights shit is recent, bro. They've been taking our rights for a long time. So stop thinking it's recent. Don't be a Johnny-come-lately. This shit's been going on for a long time. And just because you were ignorant to it doesn't mean it's not true. And you need to recognize that and check your ego at the door. But I know you're gonna have to go here in a moment, Joey. Get ready for your show. That's right. Let me. Figure this out. Make sure you're getting ready for your show. I want to jump over to I want to talk about the Texas flooding because this shit is absolutely crazy. It is it's like a once in 100-year kind of flood, but the government is still largely at fault for the mismanagement of this. A lot of this could have been prevented, as with most natural disasters. But what I wanted to bring up before Joey has to go is I want to get his reaction to this from Destiny. So, we have a picture here of the flooding, and it says, I've been trying to wrap my head around how the flooding in Texas became so devastating so quick. Why not evacuate? Then I saw this from Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and said the Guadalupe River rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes around 4 a.m. That's fucking insane. That sounds unnatural, but that's what a lot of people have said. Now, I can't fully speak on that. I'm not a fucking geologist or a fucking person who studies topography or any of this shit, so I don't fucking know. But it just doesn't sound like anything I've heard before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could see from what I've been involved in a hurricane in New York before, and like the East River has never risen. It's and it's right there. Like a lot of Manhattan's under sea level. So like everything I've read, this was just kind of like on a culmination of events. Like I was telling you,
They had 2 spillways and a dam that could have been opened to release this water. No one was there managing those, so they weren't released. We also had there hasn't been rain in this area in like over 30 years. The area that flooded was below the river already, so it was already below the water level. And then there was also reports that they were experimenting with cloud seeding in the area just days prior. I think it was in a culmination of events and a lack of government competence that caused this. It was just a culmination of events that lined up fucking perfectly to cause a tragedy, and that's usually what happens.
That sounds right to me. That sounds like they were probably experimenting with something and something fucking accidentally went haywire. And this is what
they
happened.
were fucking with
not every
yeah, they were fucking with cloud seeding, trying to get it to rain because the area hasn't had rain in 30 fucking years. Maybe some light drizzles here and there, but we do it here in California. We do it here all over the United States. There's cloud seeding is a thing, and it can go wrong. So I guarantee you that this flood, in part, could have been caused by cloud seeding. And then you couple that with just the area that it is, and the fact that we didn't have anyone there to open the spillways or the dam. It was a disaster waiting to happen when you couple it with the cloud seeding. So
it's not like we don't know that. It's not like we don't know they have this type of technology. I mean, they used to have the HARP machine up in.
I've tried to tell people that there's still so many people that don't believe cloud seeding exists. I don't understand it. It's a very simple. It's a very simple technology. It's not complicated at all. But all they think of is, humans don't make clouds and cause rain. No, that's not. We're shooting chemicals in the air. We're shooting chemicals that cause this.
The same people who don't believe this are the same people that believe in man-made climate change, though. It'll be like, bro, we literally can change the climate, man-made. And if you want to actually talk about cloud seeding and all that shit, then maybe that's what you should be talking about. Perhaps that's what's messing with the climate.
Before you got to go, though, Joey, I just want to read this from Destiny. You know Destiny, the omni-liberal? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard God killed those kids because they were using @NordVPN, and then he puts promo code Destiny to get around the Texas porn ban, frowny face.
Is he supposed to be funny to like certain people?
But here you go. NordVPN. Hello, everyone. This tweet was falsely suggests a sponsorship with us. No such relationship exists, and we are reviewing the misuse of our trademark. Fucking sue him, please. Fucking sue him. You can't do that. You can't make a statement like that and say you're sponsored by a company.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have just not done the fucking promo code Destiny thing, then
it still would have been bad, but
yeah, but
you can't do promo code. Yeah.
Because now it's making it look like, this is what it's like we can't even respond to this because he doesn't actually have a promo code.
Well, yeah, and there might be measurable effects to NordVPN's like stock price for a statement like that. Like, look at Nord. Why would I use NordVPN if this is the people they sponsor? Like that would be everyone's thought. So this absolutely hurts the company's image. And then we have other tweets from him like this. He says, "Hey, @donut operator, where are your tweets blaming Trump or Greg Abbott for the lack of preparation or response for the flood? You seemed like you had so much more to say about the California wildfires blaming Gavin Newsom DEI. Would really be pathetic if you were just weaponizing drowned dead children for social media likes." He tweeted that after the promo code Destiny thing, by the way. I wanted to point that one out. And Joey, why is this not the same as the California situation?
Well, because people just lit brush fires in California.
Well, so the difference in California is that we had a lack of
Fires
water
happen all the time.
Yeah, we had a lack of water. There were no water in the fire hydrants in a fire risk area in a state that constantly has fires. Like, it was a thing that they should have known about, should have been prepared for, and should have never happened. This that happened in Texas is a freak fucking thing that no one saw coming. How do you prepare someone at 4 a.m. for 27 feet of water in 45 minutes? How the fuck do you prepare someone for that? Even if there were people at those spillways, would that have been enough? I don't know. So the sheer fact that people are now comparing this and trying to say that we need to start blaming Greg Abbott and Donald Trump for it is utterly ridiculous. We're not talking about we're not talking about a government that forgot to fill up a water reservoir. We're talking about an area that filled up like a fucking fishbowl.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like a fucking anomaly compared to just another fucking summer in California.
And like I said, there were definitely factors that could have been mitigated, but the government at large isn't responsible for this. I would say it's a natural disaster. It occurs naturally. It could have been in part due to the cloud seeding, but still. Anyway, I know Joey's got to get ready for his show. It's already time. Go, Joey. Get out of here.
Yes, I'm going. Hold on.
Get out of here. Get out of here, Joey. Get out of here.
All right, I clicked something wrong. God damn it.
Get out of here, Joey. Get out of here. Go. All right. Joey's getting out of here. He's got to go do his show. So you guys will be tuning into him. But yeah, so let's get back into this Texas thing. What happened in Texas is absolutely devastating. We're getting more and more updated information. Just to get an idea of the sheer force of this flooding, I have this story. It says likely line of duty death from Texas flash floods. Chief Michael Phillips of Marble Falls VFW was likely swept away by the floodwaters while responding to a call in Cow Creek, Travis County, Texas. His command vehicle was found, but he remains missing. Searches continue. I would assume he's presumed deceased. I mean, you look at this truck. This was done by the floodwaters. If you don't have any idea how powerful these floodwaters were, here's the idea for you. Here's the mental image for you. This is what people were dealing with over the weekend for 4th of July. This car is buried under a mountain of rock and rubble. The roof of the car is gone. There is no evidence that a person was ever in this vehicle. It's devastating. This he's probably dead. I hope that they can find his remains so that the family could have some closure. This guy, all he was doing was going out to go and help his county. It's insane. Texas woman's flood rescue caught on camera after water swept her 20 miles. So this woman was clinging to a tree after being swept 20 miles. Unnamed Texas woman, age 22, was rescued over the weekend after the devastating Guadalupe River flood swept her 20 miles over 4 hours before she eventually clung to a tree and cried for help. The Texas family saw her and helped initiate the rescue. Fox News reported Sunday with what network touted as unbelievable video of the moment caught on tape. Let's see.
In the air, and floodwaters were rising. I had gone about a half a block down the street where I could still call out to her and tell her that I see her. Cold, so we wrapped her in blankets and towels. Upset, concerned. She was just extremely upset, concerned, worried, and what have you.
I imagine as much. She was with her family, the only one rescued so far. Carl, Jude, and Josh, you guys are heroes. You saved a woman's life. So
that's awesome. Yeah, great on those guys for being able to step in and help that woman. That's crazy. 4 hours being swept through through the river. I'm amazed that she made it out alive. Death toll in devastating Central Texas flash floods climbs to at least 95 now. If I refresh it, okay, they don't have any updates. Earlier, I refreshed it, and it jumped from 89 to 95. So there's still dozens of people missing. The death toll is still rising. We'll get more information about this as time goes on. But just look at the videos coming out of this. I mean, they're playing some in the background here. The videos of this flood are absolutely insane. Come on, show some more of it. This shows the devastation. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I was looking at videos people were showing, and they were up on their deck that's normally 20 feet off the ground, and they were showing that the water was nearly about to wash over it. This flood was absolutely insane looking at the images. I feel incredibly terrible for the families and the people affected by this. I couldn't imagine. We don't get stuff like this in California. Look, this is a time lapse. Look how quickly this water's rising. They didn't show the whole clip. That water rose. That was maybe like not even a third, maybe a quarter of how high the water rose. And you can just see in that clip I was just showing how fucking fast it was rising. Anyway, I'll save this story for tomorrow. We'll talk about Elon Musk's new party. I'll just leave this video for the flooding and primarily to talk about the Epstein stuff. I'm going to leave you guys off again with my new AI song. I feel like it's incredibly fitting for the news that we saw. The song, I made it with the prompt, the government lying about Epstein and how we always lose. They're red and blue, birds of the same wing. That's the name of the song, is Birds of the Same Wing. But I'm going to leave that with you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I had a fantastic show despite the absolutely atrocious news that we had to go through today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you drop a like and a follow if you haven't already. Thank you to Mad Stork for the $1 Rumble rant today. All the support for the channel is greatly appreciated. That's how I'm able to continue doing this show. That's how I'm able to pay for things in general. The only source of income I have is right now this show. So I really do appreciate everything that you guys do to support the channel, whether it's just hanging out and liking and commenting and stuff like that, or sending in Rumble rants and gifted subs. All of it is immensely appreciated, and I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do this without that. Thank you guys. Go over to Joey. Threw that piece of ish into oblivion, make him serve as Epstein's plaything for all of eternity. Absolutely agree, Chris. He's talking about destiny. The comments being made by that disgusting individual. Get a job, you hippie. This is my job, Chris. I want this to be my job. I would love for it to be my job. It's a dream. Speaking of which, do an ad read for Rumble Premium. Do a Rumble Premium ad read real quick for you guys. I don't have to read off this entire thing. I'll just read off the very, very last bit. Rumble stood against big tech censorship. They held the line when no one else would. When YouTube and Google were censoring everybody, Rumble stood on the side and kept telling everybody, no, we will hold this line, we will allow people to speak, and we will give people the platform to say the things they want to say that aren't illegal. They protect everyone's speech here on this platform. They have everyone on here. They even have Nick Fuentes on here. They have all of the people that have been banned off of all these other platforms. They're here on Rumble, and they're allowed to speak their mind as they should. I don't agree with a lot of the things that Nick Fuentes says. I don't agree with a lot of things that people say on this platform. But I absolutely love this platform because of the opportunity that it gives people to speak their mind and disagree with people. I love that there are people on this platform that can stand in the middle of the crowd and tell everyone else they're wrong, while we sit there and tell them they're wrong. I love it. I absolutely love it. And if you want to support this platform, get Rumble Premium. Get Rumble Premium to support this platform. Rumble doesn't get advertisers like Google does, like YouTube does. If they're going to stick around and continue to support people like me and to continue to give us a platform that they do, we need to support them, and we need to make sure that we have people out there that support them. So please, go join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble's offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we are just happy that you watch us here on Rumble. And if you watch us here on YouTube, stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Download Rumble. Make yourself a Rumble account. It's all free. You can even use the same account you use on YouTube to come and watch me here on Rumble. Do it. Do it now. Watch me on Rumble. Anyway, I'm going to send you guys over to Joey. Let me go get the link for that. And while I am getting the link for that, I'm going to leave you guys with my new favorite song. And again, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out, guys. Stay free.
Promises make truth the trade. Behind closed doors, deals are played. Red or blue, same game they bring. Two wings flapping for the same damn thing.
broken bird like a dedicated fatty. His head. Drop the hammer.
It's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game. Epstein's shadow hunting the halls, truth buried deep behind the walls. Who pulls the strings? Who writes the play? The truth gets lost another day. Finger pointing, flames ignite, divide the people, fuel the fight. But in the end, it's all a con. They're laughing while we're poor. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game. They spin the